What's up, everybody? This is Gary Holt from Exodus and formerly from Slayer, and you're listening to The Razor's Edge.
Welcome back to The Razor's Edge, where tonight we have with us Joe from Orange Goblin. Joe, how are you?
I'm good. I'm cold. All of a sudden, we've got this cold snap in the UK. And I'm sure it's colder everywhere else. I'm in London, so up north, yeah. I'm sure it's really cold, but we're not used to it. We've had like a really weirdly mild November, and all of a sudden, within a day, it's gone from 17 degrees to like 4 or something, with a wind chill of like -8. It feels like. So, yeah, I'm all right. I'm not good with the cold. I prefer it to be hot, and yeah. So I'm kind of I kind of go off a bit in the winter. But I'm good.
Time to hibernate.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, sadly, this is probably the last time we'll speak to any member of Orange Goblin in the as a representative of Orange Goblin. So you're deep in the middle of your farewell tour. How's it going?
It's amazing. It's just such a weird thing because it's come around super quick. So we started the year kind of thinking, oh, we've got all these shows ahead of us. It'll be fun. It's just started to sink in that, oh my goodness, we've, the end's in sight and it's coming to an end. But it's bittersweet because the shows have been just so good this year. We've been lucky. We've always had great turnouts and great shows, and we've got great fans that have been supporting us, as yourself included there, Tim. But just something about these shows, probably because every country we've been to, they know it's the last one.
Yeah.
People have been coming out and just going crazy. We just played in Finland, and I think there's about 1,000. We sold out this place, and just everyone was going crazy. It was just a proper party scene, and everyone's enjoying it, and it's making us. I almost wish that they wouldn't, because now I don't want to stop. It's So it's great. We're having a great time. It's just it's a bit weird.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So obviously we caught you at Bloodstock earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And I had a chat with Chris after that show. So for myself, knowing it was one of the last times I'd see Orange Goblin, especially in a festival setting, it was emotional for me. How hard was it for you guys on stage, knowing that was your last UK festival show?
Yeah, the same as what I just said. It's really weird and a bit surreal to think, because we've been Bloodstock. I can't even remember how many times we've played it now, but it's just what we do. And yeah, I did have a moment on stage thinking, oh my goodness, this is it. Especially it was a Bloodstock where the crowd started just chanting "Goblin, Goblin," and that sent shivers up my spine, and it was a bit emotional. Yeah, I must admit, I did feel a bit emotional at that show. It was kind of like, oh man, this festival's been so good to us, and we're deserting everyone.
You certainly are.
Yeah.
So, I last spoke to you. I last spoke to you at Bloodstock, but I last spoke to you doing an interview when Science Not Fiction came out. And before we knew you were calling it a day. So the last song on that album, End of Transmission, was that name intentional? Obviously, looking back on it now, we can think, were they trying to say something here? But at the time, we didn't really realise. So was that always your intention for it to be the last album?
I mean, obviously Ben is the best person to ask for that because he writes all the lyrics. And I think we asked him the same thing at the time. Like, hey, is this like, but I probably a little bit of yes, but mainly no. I think he kind of wrote that, and I remember him saying people are going to think that we're splitting up, because at that time we hadn't really thought of. It's always been in the back of our minds that we've got to call this a day at some stage, but I don't think it was completely intentional, because, like I say, we hadn't had that conversation when we'd written that album. This was, we started to think about it after the album had been released, and we were doing some shows. And I think after a while, Ben's living in France now. We're all so far apart from each other. Frequencies. The last album went down so well. Album number 10. It just, I keep saying this, but it just seems right. It just seems like a good a good time. We've all got our, you know, our lives outside the bands. We don't make $1 million each from doing this, or collectively, really. So it's always been a really lovely hobby doing Orange Goblin. That's just kind of, you know, we have lived off it for a while, but it's not something you can do when you've got families and when you've got other commitments, because the only way you can make money doing this kind of stuff is, at our level anyway, is by touring. And you can't tour forever because everyone in my family would desert me. So it's it's just trying to find that kind of, it just seemed like a right time. So the lyrics do seem like, oh yeah, we planned it, but no, we hadn't. I don't think it was really it might have been in the back of his head, but I don't think it was
It wasn't intentional at the time.
It wasn't completely intentional.
And you mentioned there, to make any money you have to be like touring full time, and
Sure.
there was a year or so period, I remember, where you did try and focus and do that as a career. What experiences did you get from that, and why did you not try and focus on that further after that period?
Yeah, great question. We did that when we did Eulogy. Eulogy took off, like, you know, it was bigger than we expected it to be, again, in our little bubble. And we realized that we could actually make a living from doing the bands. You know, we had that much kind of support from people, and people were buying the albums and stuff. So we gave it a go. So 2013, we just went for it, and that was what we did. We did the band full time, and we just toured relentlessly. And I'm not sure about other bands, but certainly for us, again, going back to the money thing, not having the money to have huge tour buses going around America. I mean, we did the Soundwave Festival during that year, or the year before, whenever it was. And then we did 2 weeks in Australia, then we came back for like a day. Then we didn't even come back. We went straight to America, did like a 7-week tour. Then we did a European tour pretty much straight off the back of that. And we had little kids at the time, so I didn't see my kids for like 9 weeks. And what happens when you're doing that kind of a tour in little vans and traveling to get from one big place to another big place, like in America from LA to New York or whatever it is, you've got to play every place in between because it's a long journey. And, you know, we did a lot of shows that, you know, not many people turned up. That didn't matter, but it's the traveling in between the shows that just become quite hard and really hard to do in the back of a van. And what happens then is it affects the shows. So you're then doing the band as just a job. You know, you might as well be doing the 9 to 5 job. So the fun element, which is the reason we started this band, and is still the reason why we enjoy doing it, even though we're stopping, is it's fun, you know. And it wasn't fun anymore to do that, because it was just, you're doing the same. You're going through the motions every single night for 9 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever it was. So it was great to be able to do it, but we realized we're going to have to just keep touring forever. to kind of sustain or to get any income coming in. So we decided to cut back on that.
That's fair enough. And if it does become a chore, then it isn't worth doing anymore, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So looking back at your career and back to the beginning of your career, when you formed as Our Haunted Kingdom back in '95, did you ever envisage still being around 30 years later?
Absolutely not. No way. We had enough fire in our bellies at the time when Our Haunted Kingdom, when the demos came out, because we were so young and were so eager to do anything, that I think we were confident enough to think, right, we're gonna make it in a certain, because the bands we were into, the Doom. I say it wasn't so much Stone at the time, but he was, those bands that hadn't quite, the Cathedrals and the Electric Wizards, those kind of bands. So we wanted to kind of get to that level. So we worked super hard, and we thought we were good. So we kind of just kept plugging away, and then we did the first album, jumping forward a little bit. But that's when I thought it wouldn't carry on. Once we did Frequencies, I thought, wow, we've done an album. Us idiots. We've managed to do an album and not kill each other, and it's actually, it's all right. So I do remember doing the first album and just thinking, God, wouldn't it be great if we could just do one more album, just like get 2 albums before everything implodes or people don't want us anymore. So yeah, to be still sitting here now doing it 30 years later is mind-boggling, really. And it's great, it's brilliant.
It's an achievement in itself to last 30 years as a band these days. So.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know how we've done it.
So for me, I first crossed paths with you around 98, I think, with you were on that Krang CD, and then you were doing tours with Cathedral. You opened for Queens of the Stone Age on their first tour. Was that period of time a turning point for yourselves in terms of you were getting that exposure? You were on Krang, you were on Metal Hammer CDs, and you were getting those tours with those what are now, well, Queens of the Stone Age are now a huge band, obviously. So
yeah. Again, it has been, apart from the traveling, everything is, it's been just a dream. We've done everything we'd ever hoped we could ever do as kids and more. Yeah, fun being on Kerrang and having CDs on the front of Metal Hammer, magazines that we grew up reading and listening to the CDs that were out, or tapes, whatever it was when we were when we were buying those magazines, and being in those magazines and just like seeing yourself in Kerrang is just like, what? I couldn't believe it. Still can't believe it. I still find it amazing that we've got these spreads and interviews and reviews of our shows. So yeah, getting to play with the bands that we've played with, Queens of the Stone Age was just incredible because that was their first album. We toured with them on their first album, and just getting to meet Josh and Nick Oliveri, who's such a character. But I mean, he was pretty well behaved on that tour. But just hanging out with those guys, and they're super nice. It was brilliant, and of course, getting to tour with Cathedral. Cathedral were the band that we probably hassled the most, trying to get somewhere, because we were such huge fans, and we just follow Lee around everywhere and kind of be bugging on his shirt. Lee, come and listen to our demo. Lee, can we? So I think probably out of desperation, he ended up signing us to Rise Above. They leave me alone. I'll just sign them, and then they took us on tour. So yeah, we've had. It's just been like a crazy dream with so yeah, it's really nice to still be sitting here and have done all that.
Absolutely. And what were those early tours like when you were playing? I saw you in the Varsity, I saw you at JB's in Dudley. What were those early tours like in those really small, old, dingy venues?
Brilliant, because we were just kids having fun, and we'd never, before those kind of tours, we'd turn up at little pubs and play, and we'd have like £5 between us, and we'd have to share beers, or we'd have to kind of go to the off license and buy the cheapest thing we could get, and we wouldn't have any dinner, we wouldn't have any food, and all of a sudden, it wasn't a lot, but we start getting riders. Venues would say, what do you want on your rider? Like, what? You're going to give us food and drink? And all we have to do is just play this music. So I mean, saying that, they were rough because we were playing in like some real dumps, but that's what we kind of wanted. We wanted to be rough and ready, and we were rough and ready. We were super hungry to get out there and not just have fun, but to show people what we can do and how good we are. We got to meet some of the lifelong friends that we're still friends with today, in like the sleaziest, grottiest little bars known to man. That the bars where you can barely walk because your foot's sticking to the floor, and from all the beer that's been spilt over the years. So I love those days. Even if I got the times we were playing in front of 10 people, 20 people, sleeping in the car or the van. But it was. I don't ever remember us moaning about that. We moan more now when we're in our hotels because so it's good.
And just as an example, that tour with Queens of the Stone Age, I saw you in the Varsity in Wolverhampton. It was an upstairs room above a pub. There was probably 80 people in there. If you think about that now, your final gig in Wolverhampton in a few weeks has sold 10 times the amount of tickets that gig sold. And you think where Queens of the Stone Age are as well. Though. It's the fact that we saw you both with just 80 people in a small room above a pub is mind blowing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that one of the first? I can't remember, but I think that might be one of the first shows with that on that tour. But Josh's sound, I don't know if you can remember, like all the amps he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were old vintage amps, back in the day, and just every night getting to watch them,
Yeah.
and play with them was a super honour. And you're right. 80 people, was it 80 people were at that show?
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane, isn't it? Yeah, thinking
Yeah.
about how far they've come, and I guess how far we've come with.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's something to be proud of. But I didn't realise there were that little people there. That's crazy.
It only used to hold about 100 people, and it definitely wasn't full that night. So I remember it well. I remember it well. It was great.
Good old days. Yeah, because Martyn didn't make that tour. I can't remember why, but Martyn was. We had Leo from Cathedral on bass for the Stone Age tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was it Sally that were opening the band? Sally, do you remember them?
Possibly, yeah. I don't. Yeah. My
Yeah,
memory's not quite that good to remember who else was.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't the tour. Maybe it was just a couple of shows. But yeah, the guitar player had a huge, big green guitar, because that was the thing back in the days, to have the biggest amps you could possibly have. And I didn't. I had a rubbish little Marshall, but oh well. Yeah, good old days.
Yeah. So talking of venues, and you've played some legendary venues along the way. CBGB springs to mind as one. What were the best venues that you can remember playing over the years?
Well, I mean, CBGB's was real eye opener, because obviously how legendary it was. But when we got to CBGB's, we'd just come off a European tour with, I think with Cathedral. I can't remember, it might have been someone else. And going back to the catering, we were treated like kings in Europe.
Yeah.
So we had everything we wanted. We had beers and wine and God knows what else. And then the first show we got to, when we got to the States, was in CBGB's. And I think Ben went up to the owner or the guy at the bar and said, "Oh, where's our rider?" And he went, "You what, mate?" He goes, where's our rider? Where's our grapes? Where's our..." And he gave us, I think he gave us one beer ticket each. He goes, "There you go. That's your rider. You get one beer ticket each, and that's it. That's all you get." It was kind of great, because it was, it's punk rock, and it was brilliant. So that was good, just because it was so mental, and the toilet didn't have a door, so you couldn't. There was no privacy in there. You just walked straight down the corridor, and there was the toilet, just there with no door. I don't think they made a door for it. So that's really good. I've got to say, the Underworld in London is one of my favourites, just because we've played there so many times. And again, it's a little lovely little smelly place. Always gets packed. Got so many memories from there. We got to play Wembley Arena with Dio and Alice Cooper. We did a tour, a 5-day tour back in '99, I think. So that was brilliant. I mean, we played as the doors were opening, so there was about 10 people in there, but we got to play Wembley Arena. But I mean, there's so many. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's some of that. I like the little clubs, the little sweaty clubs. They're my faves. Yeah.
And over those 30 years, looking back on it now, would you have done anything differently in any aspect of the band?
I don't know if we would. I mean, there's obviously going to be little things where you look back, "Oh, we should have done that," but I don't think so. I think we've kept our morals, and we've played the right places, and I don't think so. I think we've pretty much got happy with our lot and what we've done. We made some bad decisions here and there, but not too many. Especially when it comes to playing live. We've done so many tours. We've worked bloody hard. I know that we've done a lot of. We put a graft in, but because we enjoy it. So no, I don't think I've got any regrets really. I mean, we didn't write a Christmas number one. That was the one thing, because that could have financed us to do a lot of other stuff. So I keep giving ideas to the guys. Saying, "What about this idea?" That's a bit like Cliff Richard's. It's got like a nice melody, but for some reason they haven't bought into my Christmas number one idea.
You've got time for this year. You can campaign for Blue Snow as Christmas number one.
Well, there you go. We tried that before, didn't we? I think with it was, but yeah, you never know. There's always. Well, we've got a few weeks to sort it out.
So when it all comes to an end in a matter of weeks' time, really,
Yeah.
what happens next? Obviously, Harry will be in 1,000,001 bands forever.
Yeah.
But what are the rest? What are the rest of you doing after
Well,
that?
I teach guitar pretty much constantly at the moment. I'm not doing the band, so that's my thing. I've also got a gazillion ideas. I'm always writing songs. I've always got riffs and ideas, and I'm also write a lot of songs that aren't Goblin-esque. I've got sort of like, I don't know what you'd call it. I've got acoustic stuff. I've got lots of different ideas going. So I can't sing, so I've got a load of people that I want to get to sing my songs for me, basically. So I want to do some sort of solo-y thing, or for another band, or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna thank you. So I'm just getting a drink. I'm gonna keep playing, basically, keep doing stuff, because that's all I can do. I'm rubbish at everything else.
It's good. It's good to hear that there will be something afterwards.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, right. So that's me. Chris is. I mean, he's working full time, but Chris has really got into. He's turned into Rick Wakeman. He's playing synthesizers and things and Moogs and all this stuff going on. So he's just having fun, just like making weird and wonderful sounds at the moment, which is great. I've been enjoying what I've heard that he's played me. And Harry, like you say, he's in 1,000,001 bands, so he's just going to keep going. He's my favourite. I call Harry the pocket prince, as in the artist formerly known as Prince, because we can afford him, but he can do everything. He's just multi-talented. He can sing, he can play bass. He's just got that. He's got that stage presence, and he's just a really talented guy. So we'll be fine. So, and Ben is in France. Obviously, he's got Route One, and he's doing all his booking at the moment. I know he's talking about writing stuff, so maybe he's going to go down that line of work where he's writing. Yeah. But we've also said we could come back. I don't know. We're not going to be that band and say, right, that's it, we're done forever. We're certainly having a break.
Yeah.
We might not ever come back, but who knows?
There's always a chance.
There's always a chance, yeah. So
yeah. You preempted my question of, is this really the end?
Sorry, mate. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. At the moment, it is. But it's with there's an open door, slightly open somewhere down the road.
So as Orange Goblin and as an entity leaves the scene, at least for now, what bands do you see that will help fill that void?
Oh, God, I listen to just really old bands from the 70s, and I'm just stuck in all. But I mean, who are opening our tour, are fantastic. We toured with them in 2021. Everything they've put out, every live performance I've seen, which is a lot now because we toured with them. Yeah. They're just fantastic. So if you don't know check them out. Obviously, there's bands like Slabosa that are just like rocking at the moment. And there will be more as soon as I put the phone down to you. I'll remember everything, but at the moment I can't remember. But there's some great bands out there. Absolutely. And I think the scene is still strong. I feel like it's getting stronger again. So
yeah, and I totally agree with Ern. They are going to be huge. As soon as people wake up to them, they're going to be
absolutely. Yeah, keep your eyes out, guys, and ears out, because there's some great bands.
So the final tour kicks off in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Well, in the UK at least. What do you have planned for the UK shows?
Well, we're not gonna do a band last waltz thing, which I kind of wanted to do, where we get everybody up on stage that we've played with before. It's just we haven't had enough time to sort that out. But we've songs that we haven't played for a long time. We're going to be doing some old stuff. We've got a few people hanging around that might come up, but we just really just want it to be a Goblin show, a rock show with a couple of little twists and turns here and there. So it's just a party. We're gonna have a good old fashioned sad party, sad stroke happy, celebratory party. So it's gonna be great.
Excellent. And when I spoke to Chris at Bloodstock, he did confirm Pete won't. There's no chance of Pete making an appearance.
No. Pete's just got his own thing going on now. Yeah. So
will Martyn appear at any shows?
Don't know. I'm not sure about that yet. Because again, Martyn's, he's left just to get on with a normal life, and I think that's kind of where his head's still at. But yeah, he could pop up. I'm sure his face will be at the London show somewhere around.
Yeah,
but there's no. Yeah, I don't know. He's we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, and will it be hard just to say goodbye to it all at the end of that tour in December?
I think it will, because it's all. I'm 50, and I've been doing this probably since I was, I guess, 18. We started getting together and jamming. So, and then we had a couple of years just being silly, and then obviously knuckled down. So we had just over 30 years really of doing this. So it's all I've really ever known, and all of us have. There's always been a gig. There's always been an album to do. There's always been something going on. So yeah, it is gonna be a bit of a weird void. It's like, oh my goodness, now what am I gonna do? So
yeah.
Busking, I might start busking. You never know. You might see me outside Tottenham Court Road Station with an hat and with my old cap, just collecting. They don't even collect money anymore. Collecting pics. I don't know.
You need a card reader for that, and yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'll get a card reader. Yeah, I'll take requests.
To round things out, Joe, for me, the last 26 plus years, Orange Goblin have been a constant in my life. So for myself and all of the Orange Goblin fans, I just want to say thank you to you and the rest of the band for everything you've done. You've made so many of us so happy over the years, and it will be sad to see you go. Thank you so much, Tim. Blimey, yeah, it's going to be weird and it's going to be hard, but I appreciate all the support we've had. We've been lucky to have people like you and everyone that's bought an album and come to see us and supported us and just been super nice and friendly to us over the years, and allowed us to do all this and travel the world and make albums. So if our music's made people happy and dance around and forget your day, I mean, a lot of people have said they come to a Goblin show just to kind of let go, get real life out of their system for a little while. Then we've done that, and we've done our job. And thanks to everybody for supporting us. Fantastic. Yeah. Joe, good luck with the final tour. Thank you. We personally will see you in Wolverhampton one last time, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Joe. Brilliant. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with all of our interviews by subscribing to our channel. For all the latest news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website, www.therazorsedge.rocks.